Hello and welcome to the presentation on healthy aging. I've collected some information I think would be helpful or useful to you from various lectures or studies I've read. So without further ado, just walking for 15 minutes a day has been shown to extend lifespan by 2 years. Walking an hour a day may extend lifespan by 4 years. And I would argue that you could probably push that out to about 90 minutes a day to get the full benefit. Vitamin B6 is helpful for cognitive function. In the spirit of consuming a whole food, plant-forward diet, I'd recommend eating food like brewer's yeast, whole grains and legumes, etc., which is probably superior to supplementation because you're also getting the benefit of the thousands of other substances included in those foods, not just the vitamin B6. More vitamins. Vitamin B9, also known as folate or folic acid, is also important for cognitive function, and you can see at the bottom of the paragraph there that good dietary sources include spinach, green vegetables, and beans. Several dietary and lifestyle factors have been reported as associated with a decreased risk of cognitive impairment. As follows, we just talked about getting adequate folic acid, lowering the saturated fat in your life, which is one of the reasons I am not a proponent of the traditional ketogenic diet. Having a high consumption of longer chain omega-3 fatty acids is important, as well as high fruit and vegetable intake. The Mediterranean diet, limiting or moderating alcohol intake, achieving a high educational level, cognitive engagement, meaning thinking, challenging your brain, trying new things, social engagement, and high physical activity levels. We've known for some time that high levels of homocysteine, which is an amino acid found in abundance in animal proteins, has been shown to increase the risk of Alzheimer's by twice. So, one more reason to consume a plant-forward diet. There was a recent study published on foods that decrease the risk of Alzheimer's. Coming in 1, 2, and 3 were apples, berries, and tea, meaning green tea, black tea, or oolong. Volunteering a little bit can help to not only increase your own physical activity levels, but also a sense of well-being, and I think is part of overall healthy aging. I love the food journalist Michael Pollan. He's not a doctor, but he has a great way of putting scientific literature into layman's terms in his books, his interviews, or his show Cooked on Netflix from 2016. Eat an anti-inflammatory diet, and in his words, eat food, mostly plants, not too much, 7 words we can all live by. Half a teaspoon of dried rosemary daily has been shown in at least one study to improve memory. Avoid processed meats. The World Health Organization classifies them as carcinogens in the same category as smoking. The MIND diet was specifically developed to help people with cognitive function, and it is a derivation of the Mediterranean diet. You can Google that. It's a plant-forward diet. Another one would be the healthy Nordic diet. There are many diets that are associated with a decreased risk of dementia. One of them out there will appeal to you. If you haven't checked it out, check out the Healthy Nordic Diet. Outdoor activities, massage, and music can be as effective as medications for the agitation of dementia. If you or a loved one need some assistance in this area, then consider some of these non-pharmacologic measures, which come side effect free. This is a study out of Harvard looking at a Mediterranean-style diet and the length of telomeres. Telomeres are like the little things on the end of your shoelaces, but on the end of your DNA strands. Telomeres get shorter as you get older, and it's thought that it may play a role in aging. So you don't want short telomeres. Mediterranean diets are associated with longer telomeres. This is a good thing. The Geminal study from the great Dr. Dean Ornish and Elizabeth Blackburn showed that a host of therapeutic lifestyle changes, including diet, physical activity, and targeted supplementation can also increase telomerase activity by 30%. Maybe the best thing you can do for your health is eliminate soda. Soda is highly associated with telomere shortening, which is a bad thing. Eat an antioxidant diet. Oxidation is like rust. It ages you. You don't want to be a rusty car. You don't want to have a rusty brain. Eat antioxidant fruits and vegetables. Tea drinking, shown time and again to be beneficial for our brains, and this would be green tea or green tea derivations, not herbal teas. So we're talking green tea, black tea, oolong tea. We know that a high-fat diet containing unhealthy saturated fats can lead to problems with neurogenesis, which is the regenerative process in our brains responsible for forming new memories. Foods that are studied and associated with a sharp mind include berries, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower, and beets. Every long-lived society in the world eats a diet high in whole grains. Carb has unfortunately become a four-letter word in our culture, and it's important to separate and distinguish simple carbohydrates like Twinkies from complex carbohydrates like broccoli. Obviously, one is healthier than the other. Eat whole grains. Be physically active. Aerobic exercise is one of the most powerful tools to prevent Alzheimer's disease. And we have a growing research base on sleep. Chronic sleep deprivation, which many people think they're doing just fine, but it is shown in a robust evidence base to be associated with poor cognitive thinking, incomplete tasks, and Alzheimer's dementia. Have strong social connections. The Blue Zones project by Dan Buettner from National Geographic Society has been growing a lot of evidence on the power of purpose as we age. It's important to maintain purpose and strong social networks after retirement. It's kind of the village elder model. The wise man in the village. It's important to have purpose as you get older. Volunteer, go to church. Novel activities for the brain are important for neurogenesis, developing new connections. This is all healthy brain activity. So learn an instrument, learn a language, do your crosswords, engage your mind. Omega-3 fatty acids have gotten some bad press recently. Bad press in that they don't work. I don't think that the dosages studied in the studies referenced by the media were adequate. I generally recommend high-dose supplementation, 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams, 3 times a day. And then food sources of omega-3s are going to be your cold water oily fish like salmon, walnuts, ground flaxseed, etc. There's a study out of Spain called Predimed, and nuts have been shown in this study and other studies to reduce the risk of death, cognitive dysfunction, and cardiovascular disease. Same with turmeric and ginger. Great additions to your oatmeal or a smoothie. It's easy to incorporate. They are associated with improved cognitive function. Tai Chi classes are important for balance, and multiple studies have shown that patients who engage in Tai Chi have fewer falls, fewer broken bones. Robust evidence base there. Same thing with yoga. Yoga is important for reducing the complications from osteoporosis. It improves strength and bone mass. Vitamin D is important. It's officially recommended for adults who are at risk of falling, such as those in nursing homes. I think, again, it's really hard to harm yourself with vitamin D, so take 4,000 to 5,000 units a day. Get some sensible sun exposure. It's good for cardiovascular health and bone health. Ginkgo biloba has been studied. It's a supplement that increases circulation to the brain and may reduce the risk of Alzheimer's. Periodic fasting extends lifespan. We know this from the great Dr. Walter Longo, an Italian PhD who works and heads up the USC Center for Longevity. He came in second for the Nobel Prize in Medicine for his work on human life extension, largely through the process of intermittent fasting and what he terms the fasting mimicking diet. It's important to do it correctly. So if you have questions about how to do intermittent fasting, I would refer you to Dr. Longo in his book, which is entitled The Longevity Diet. Since it triggers both the breakdown of old cellular parts and the creation of new ones, fasting may be considered one of the most potent anti-aging methods in existence. I like to think that our body has two modes, build and repair. When you're eating and consuming calories, your body engages in building mode, building tissues and muscles and fat stores, because it thinks a famine is just around the corner. And this just really isn't true anymore, at least not in our society. So we no longer balance building with repair mode. When you fast, when you go 10, 12 hours without a meal, your body starts repairing DNA damage. So fasting equals DNA repair and a longer, healthier lifespan. Fasting improves mental clarity. We have all experienced the sluggishness after lunch, the afternoon drowsies. So fasting improves that mental clarity. And over the long term, fasting actually may improve memory. One theory is that fasting activates a form of cellular cleansing. We call it autophagy, and it may help prevent age-associated memory loss. Here's my reading list for you. I already mentioned Longevity Diet by Dr. Valter Longo. I've read all 4 of these books. They're all great. I find them interesting, compelling, and helpful. Hopefully you will too. You can also, by the way, search YouTube or your favorite podcast platform for interviews with these doctors, if you prefer to learn that way. Finally, a prescription called metformin, which we often use for diabetes or prediabetes, has been associated with lower likelihood of dementia. Metformin's been around forever. It's cheap. The worst side effect is diarrhea. And so if you are interested, talk to your doctor about a metformin prescription. Dr. David Sinclair from MIT takes it himself to extend his own lifespan. Another supplement he takes is called nicotinamide mononucleotide, also known as NMN. And studies in mice show that you give this supplement, which is really safe, and you can buy this over the counter at your local supplement store or online. It protects against kidney damage and brain degeneration. This concludes the Healthy Aging presentation. I hope it was helpful to you. If you have questions, feel free to message me through the portal or set up a visit in the office or by telemedicine. And good luck. Take care.